Tuff and Tender, where we talk about relationships with your spouse, with your girlfriend, with your kids, with your employers, with your employees, people on the street, your gardener, your housekeeper, and all those that you have contact with. And I'm going to introduce my co-host, Inna Tuler, as well.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. And our guest today is Eileen Wallet. And we're going to be talking about relationships over 60, because there's got to be an issue with people over 60 trying to find the right person. But I said something to you last night, which I want to do a show on at some point.
Yes.
I think your first relationship is with yourself.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, I did mention that, because you have to like you before you can like somebody else.
I think it's not just your first relationship, it's your first and forever relationship.
Well, you can't get away from yourself.
No.
You know, wherever you go, wherever I go, there I am.
You tried.
I've tried to leave myself, and I can't. Every time I look back, I'm looking at me. You know, I use the same clothes, the same name, and everything.
And then you have a child that looks like you.
I have that as well. So
Huge
at some point down the road, I want to do a show on the relationship with yourself, because it's a self-esteem issue. And if you have a low self-esteem, then you can't really function the way you want to in the world. So keep that in mind. It's going to be coming up.
It reflects on others.
It does reflect. A few weeks down the road, we're going to do this. Anyway, today we're going to talk about being over 60. Like Eileen had told me, she says, you know, when you're single and you're over 60, especially a woman, you have a hard time meeting a man to go out with. I mean, it is a tough world. You're in the city of Los Angeles, and there's a lot of people here, and there's a lot, you know, they say that Hollywood's like a bowl of granola, fruits, nuts, and flakes. So you're going to have one of the above somewhere along the way. But it is difficult. And where do you meet people like that? And what do you do? I mean, how do you find somebody that you're attracted to over the age of, when you're over the age of 60, that's going to be attracted to you, and you're going to be able to go out with and do something? What have you found? How does that work for you?
It doesn't, and it hasn't.
Why?
I don't go out because I don't know where to go. You know, people say, oh, you should go out, you should go to restaurants, you should go to the temples and meet people, go to dances, but I don't feel comfortable doing that, so I just stay home.
I wouldn't go to a restaurant by myself either, just to sit there and be picked on.
I know.
No?
It's uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable.
And in any age, I personally wouldn't.
Well,
you probably don't have a problem. You'll go, you're in Starbucks, you're at Moe's, you're everywhere. You're by yourself, people know you, people come to you, and
yes.
Yes,
but I'm not out looking for dates either.
You're not looking for dates, and you're some sort of a celebrity as well, so people know you.
Yeah.
But for an ordinary people like us, it's kind of difficult. You know, you don't know where you go. You don't know who those people are. They could be serial killers, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you watch a lot of Criminal Minds.
I do. Yeah,
so you're
I have
getting
to be
that.
careful.
That's why I stay inside.
Okay, but there's got to be a solution to this somehow. You had mentioned sometimes people will hook you up.
That doesn't work out. It never worked out for me. I remember
come?
one time my sister introduced me to somebody. I mean, he came to the door and I couldn't find him when I looked through the peephole because he was too short. And I thought, oh boy, this is going to be one hell of a night.
No, you know what you do with someone like that?
What?
You take them to miniature golf.
And win.
And win.
I told him I had to be home by 9:30.
Yeah.
So I was going to Disneyland the next day.
Yeah, you were a little short on time, right?
I was a little short on time.
Did you try dating online?
I get as far as looking at who's out there, and then you have to pay to go any farther, and I never pay because I think, oh, you know, because all of them want somebody, a man that's my age wants somebody that's 50 or a little below. They don't, there's only a few that want somebody that's...
It's a new trend in Hollywood especially. You know,
my
older guys want younger
I think it's always
women.
been that
I don't know
way.
why. I guess because they can. Because there's so... Is there more women than men in the world?
Oh, yeah.
Statistically?
Yeah, there's more women. There's 7 to every guy. There's 7 women to every
Really?
guy. Someone else has my other 6 right now.
They're lining up.
There's one in here.
Yeah,
One
so
over there.
I mean, but it's true that I mean, this is nothing new. Older men always like younger girls. When I was a kid, I could see the same thing going on. I think it becomes a self-esteem issue as they get older. They want to see. I'm still attracted to younger women.
Ego.
It's an ego, yeah. I've been out with younger women, and I don't find that I have that much to talk about. You know, like with you or with Inna, we can go out and have it. We can call back things in time that we recognize, that we understand what's going on. You get someone 25, 30 years old, and you say, oh, you remember the Monkees? And they'll say, no.
No,
it's like,
yeah,
oh my
I know.
God, how can you not? You know, this happens. And so, but most of the men who want the younger women do have an ego problem. They want the fancy car, they want the hair transplants, and they want the younger girl. They think this is going to make
Well, I
them
guess they
complete.
own the fancy car and they have the money and
Right.
they can afford it, and sometimes it's a cover girl, it's a trophy girl.
A trophy girl.
And that's what they want. I mean,
And then it doesn't last.
it doesn't last, but I don't think that they're even looking for it. A lot of times they have been married, they've been through this, they have the kids, they have grandchildren, they have the money, they can now party. And that's what they're
but
looking
wouldn't it be
for.
nice? Wouldn't it be nice to be with somebody that's their age or close to it, so that they can experience the grandchildren and all that in
I'm
each
sure
other's
there are guys out there that are looking
families.
for the same thing. They're looking for
Yeah.
a companion. They're looking for
Yes.
someone to spend the rest of their lives, I mean,
Right.
literally the rest of their lives
Right.
with them. And a lot of times also, and I don't know specifically, but I've read as well, you know, when people get older, they're kind of afraid to get hooked up with an older people too, because they don't know they're sick, they're maybe this, maybe that. I mean, there's a lot
point.
of fear going on in that perspective too. So it could be a combination of a lot of those items.
Well, you talk about the senior centers, you know, and you go there and you meet people, and there are older men there. My mom was in a retirement home, and the older men were there. There wasn't as many men as there were women.
No,
But when
loads of women.
But when I would go there, the men would be asleep in a chair. You know, they couldn't get them to get up and do anything. They'd go
Or
on
in
their
a
field
walker.
trips, and they wouldn't want to go. You know, so if you want to get an older guy to go out and do something, and you had dated an older guy for a while.
I did, and it didn't work out because I ended up taking care of him, and I felt like I was with my father all the time.
Exactly.
He was very sweet and very nice and kind and all that, but you know, it just was getting, you could see where it was going, nowhere, and
Right.
I felt bad, and I ended it.
So there is no positive or negative. There's no black and white. It's all gray. I mean, you know, either they're older and they don't want to do anything, or they're older and they want younger women.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
they're-
you're dating an older man. What do you think?
I'm okay with that. This has been my life.
Yeah.
And I'm been doing very well with that.
But you're dating an older man who's more like a childlike.
That's true.
So
but
that's-
every man is a childlike. You know, I was married to an older man, and it's a way of my life.
Yeah, it depends on the
That
person.
surprised me.
It depends on the
Exactly.
person.
Exactly.
Younger doesn't always mean better.
No, I
Big-
had that too.
Yeah. Now you dated a younger guy, and what was the situation there?
It was horrible when I go back at it, because
All the time was horrible.
no, there was a lot of good to it, but the
Okay.
problem was I felt, because I was older, I felt like I didn't look as good as he did, because he was like 20 years younger than I was, and he was great, but he was always wanting to control my youngest son at the time that I was raising, who was about 3 years old.
Oh.
And they liked each other and all that, but he also was very jealous of the fact that I had children and went through it already, and because he was young, and it was like, you know, older than my two older children were, but I just felt funny because I felt old all the time.
Yeah.
With him, and I didn't know how I looked, and I never told him my real age, never did.
Well, Demi Moore was married to that.
Yeah,
What's his
yeah.
face? Kushner?
Bruce,
No. Demi Moore. Her
Demi
second,
Moore was married to Bruce.
No, the second marriage.
Okay. Ashton
Ashton
Kutcher. Yeah,
Kutcher.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and they
That
had
didn't work.
It didn't work. So several years it worked, and they tried to tell everybody it's working, and he had a good relationship with her children. And
I think
everything.
some
But at
work.
some
It just
point-
depends on the people. It's
And
just
she looked great, and she still looks great.
looks
and
great.
She takes care of herself, and I don't think that. I think that age difference works less than the other way around.
and there's a lot of that in the movie business. You know, that goes on too. It
What do you
doesn't
What do you
last
think
either.
of when you meet somebody and they ask if you have kids, but your kids are older, so it doesn't really matter. But sometimes it can be an issue.
It was an issue.
Was it?
They tried to control the kids, or they would say, you should do this, you should do that,
That's when they were younger.
when they were younger. Now, no, I haven't gone out with anybody in
Yeah.
a long time.
I think because we are so out there, because the world it's the 21st century, and we're all on the internet and the dating on Facebook and everything. I think this is probably the first step towards finding someone is online dating, because it's like you're opening a catalog. Basically,
Yes.
thinking about it, and
Catalog
you have
of
this whole
people.
catalog of like you buying a car.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to compare it that way, but it's basically
No, but it
it's
is.
at you sitting there any time of the day you want to choose, and you're picking, and you know it's like it's maybe one of them will work out.
Well,
Maybe
look
one
what
of them. I'm sure there's somebody looking for you just the same way you're looking for him.
I'm sure there is.
But you're going through a catalog. You're looking at the photos. You're going to see, oh, that's an attractive person. Then you read the bio and you read if they all fit together with the whole plan. The thing was with the internet dating that I have friends that have done that, and actually we have a friend that married a girl that he met on the internet recently. You know what I'm
Who?
referring to? Paul.
Oh yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
so there's JDate and there's all these other sites that you can go to that
They're
you pay.
also private matchmakers.
But yeah. But the point
Yeah.
I'm trying to make is you pay for them.
You
But when
pay.
you get, but
Gotta
when you
come
get
with the
somebody who
price.
pays, you get a better quality of person. You go on a site like Plenty of Fish and
get
it's
what you pay
free.
for.
You get fishy people.
So maybe I should find a matchmaker.
Well, you can do that, you know.
Matchmaker.
It's just that when you pay for a service, the other person paying for that service is a higher quality person because they're paying to meet better people. Anything that's free like that is,
Yeah, I know.
it's not going to, you're going to get.
So you'll go out and you'll have dinner. You didn't like him.
I
you
get
didn't like him. You
scared.
have
I
no.
Don't get scared. No.
I've been scared because it's been such a long time, you know, and I've just probably thrown myself into other things. But you do get lonely. I do miss having somebody in my life.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
And
Lonely, it's not good.
No, you had mentioned somewhere about these older guys, they have money, they can buy anything they want, but who really wants to buy something, you know? I mean, as a man, I wouldn't.
but there's a lot of women that will go out with men just, you know, to be taken to a lot of nice places,
Yeah.
restaurants, you know, movies, theater,
Yeah.
traveling.
Yeah, I'm not controlled like that. I don't think the money's, I think you got to
Well,
have
I
that
think
chemistry.
what's his name? The Playboy guy, Joe Hefner.
Hefner?
Oh, Hugh Hefner?
Hugh
Yeah.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner. I mean, I don't think he's going to be complaining. Ever.
No.
No.
No, I mean, he's got it made, but
I'm sure he's not going to
And
say,
I
"Oh,
don't
he's going
get
to
it.
go into a better place when
But-
he dies,"
but-
right? 'Cause I
Look
think
how
he's-
old he is, and he's still,
I don't
know,
the girls like the
120,
money.
but
Yeah, he
looking
has
good.
the Viagra T-shirt and the whole thing, but that's
and
his.
he has money. He buys it. This is,
Yeah,
he
this
buys
is
what
at
he
his
wants.
leisure. Everybody want to be.
But
in
he's
that.
okay with that. He's okay with
And
that.
the girls
He
are okay
knows.
with
They're
that.
okay with it too.
Yeah.
You can have a new one every day, although he does stick with one at a time.
He is married to
Yeah,
one of them.
yeah.
that's
Right,
for-
right.
He
that's
does
for
stay with
sure.
one at a time. But there are older men out there, and we have a friend, I don't want to mention his name, that just came on the show with me that's competing now in bodybuilding as well. And he's having a hard time finding a woman. He's in his 60s. He's having a
Ooh.
tough time.
Do I know him?
Yeah, but I don't want to name
We're not
names.
going to be talking about that.
And it's tough for him too. He's having a hard time meeting the right person.
It's meeting the right person.
Yeah.
That's
I think
it.
you need to be open to meet other people.
Right, you
I don't
do.
think you need to be ready to meet other people.
If I sit in the house, you're not
No.
gonna
It's
meet
not going to
anybody.
come in a
No,
FedEx
it's not-
package.
it's not
That's
gonna
for
find
sure. You know, you have
No.
to go out there and you meet them, and you
Right.
don't meet them at night, and you don't drive to half of the world in San Diego to meet somebody.
No.
But you'd go for a cup of coffee. You'll go for a supper. You go for brunch. You have a certain time that you said, okay, I'm going to be there 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, I got to go. So you have a time frame,
Right.
okay, and everybody know ahead of time when you need to leave. So you have really no obligation, but you have to kind of set up the time frame. It doesn't have to be dinner. It could be breakfast.
Cup
it could
of
be
coffee would be
cup of
nice
coffee.
then
It could
if
be
it's
brunch.
not
It could be coffee
working
at the
out.
afternoon.
We met our
You-
first time
We
at
spoke for like 3 weeks before
3
we
weeks
met.
prior, and then we met at Starbucks.
Starbucks.
And we had
Some-
coffee for like an hour and 30 minutes, and I had to leave.
You didn't want to.
I didn't want to, no. But it worked out fine. That's we got to know each other.
This
then we
is
just
how it started. It
Yeah,
started with
exactly.
Starbucks, and then
Right.
continued with Starbucks. I think the first time we had dinner was like, I don't know, 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
a week and a half later.
Yeah.
So it starts like that, and you know you need to go. So there is no really, you're not feeling obligated to
Yeah.
take him back home because it's not 9 o'clock and you're about to dinner. So
I took you
Take
on,
him back
I took her out on the first date, and we went out to dinner, and I took her home at 9:30. And Ina said, "Why are you taking me home so early?" I said, "You get up early." And I got home, I got a text. "You didn't have to take me home that early." I was just trying to be cordial, you know.
wrong, yeah.
I was trying to be nice about it.
And you had to get up early.
Yeah, but not that early.
Yeah, not that
No,
early.
no. She's up at 3:30.
Yeah.
But Starbucks is a good it's a good neutral ground to meet somebody, and then you can get up and leave if you want. Want to take it a step further and go on a date, then you can arrange it from there. I don't see anything wrong with coffee shops, and you're going to meet people. You can meet them in the market. Trader Joe's is a good place.
Yeah, that's true.
Trader Joe's is a great place.
Somebody tells me all the time you meet that one person when you're shopping in the grocery store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
lots.
I
At
have no
night.
idea why grocery store. People talking about laundromat. And it's like, why would you want to take your dirty laundry on the first date?
Not a laundromat.
People meet. Look at the movies. I mean, where people meet.
Yeah.
They meet in the bus stop. They meet in a coffee shop. They meet
Right.
in a line in the
You
bank.
know,
We
I
don't
think
have
a
the
lot of
banks
people
anymore.
fix people up.
A lot of
They
people
fix.
do.
I really, and that
And people
probably-
hate it. Even my daughter, she's 26, and she's like, "Don't fix me up with anybody. I'll do it on my own." So people still have that perception that it's, I'm not that desperate.
Right.
But I think at some
You
point,
don't want to
if-
come off being desperate either.
Yeah, exactly. So at some
Right.
point, though, you said, "Yeah, why not?" I mean, it's not like you
But-
don't
but
need to get married.
the
You
other-
don't need
No.
to have more children. You don't
No.
need. So I think it's
But the
okay.
vision that a friend has when they fix you up is they see, "Oh, you're going to love this person," is not your vision when
Right.
you meet them. I mean, I can
Absolutely.
walk into a room and I haven't in years, and someone will say, "I'm going to want you to meet so-and-so," and I can look and say, "No, I'm not interested. I just know right now, no, it's not for me."
Yeah, it has to be there.
There's no
Spark
energy
has
going
to
back
be
and
there.
forth. Well, I also say, and I had this as a note, that men gain value with age and women lose value with age. And it's a sad thing
Excuse
to
me?
say. Well,
Yeah,
no,
we
what I'm
do.
saying is,
I got a lot of value.
You got a lot of value in my life, honey.
Yeah, every
You're
day I
talking
have
physical
But I'm just
value.
saying, men attain more, they have better business sense, they make more money, they have more, and then a woman gets divorced, a younger woman, and as they get older, they have the kids to worry about, they have no money.
If they get divorced, they get everything that men have.
Not always, not
No.
always.
A lot of
No.
times they do.
There's a certain value
No.
that goes down.
No.
I have a friend that she's taken all his millions.
Yeah, but see, men sometimes they look at this and they say, no, I don't want that. I don't want the burden of somebody else's child.
It's very hard to meet
Very hard.
to get involved with somebody unless they have children too. Then it might work out.
Okay, let's go on to the next point here. What about
Okay.
religion?
Well, I'd like to meet somebody that's my religion because then
Yeah.
I have a lot more in common, and then you can, when it's a holiday time and there's a lot of holidays, I'm Jewish,
Yeah.
and I enjoy the holidays.
Absolutely.
And
I think it's very important.
Do you?
In any age.
Yeah.
Yes.
so many people today don't
That's
value
a plus
that.
you had when I met you.
I know.
Yeah.
Wasn't that wonderful?
That was a selling point.
I think it's a good thing. It's just that so many people don't do that anymore because it's hard. It's hard
And
to meet
some-
somebody.
I told her I was Jewish and she didn't believe me. I had to show her my circumcision scar.
Then you knew.
Then we
Yeah,
knew.
then I believed
But
you.
I think it's a huge factor. It is. The holidays come along, you have kids together, you have the Jewish holidays or whatever your denomination is.
When we get to that age, at 50, 60, we have our kids and our kids have their kids.
Yeah.
And when you're the same religion, then you can really combine the families.
Exactly.
Because not just you and I anymore.
Right.
It's so many other people. And it's nice when we all celebrate Hanukkah. And it's nice when we all celebrate, Passover and everybody at the same table.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain feeling of brotherhood.
Right.
And you don't get that
Belonging.
when you don't get that with another religion. If they're devout about theirs and you're devout about yours.
And the families accept them better.
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
they come with the same religion. Otherwise, it's like, well, it's kind of foreign.
But there's that time that maybe sometimes you do fall in love with somebody that isn't your religion, and that wouldn't stop me at all.
No, but you can just convert them after that.
Yeah.
You use a conversion table. And
Let's get to that point first.
Yeah, you get to that point first.
Let's
It's
get to that
just
point
you can
first.
kind of travel in those circles, like JDate, for example.
Right.
Will lead you to those people,
Right.
and then you can pick from there. And you kind of look in those corners and try to find the people in those corners that match what you do.
I have two friends that met their husbands on JDate, and they're very happy.
See?
One was a principal, and the other one was teacher.
Yeah, a lot of people have used that, and they are happy with
and
it.
it worked out.
Well, we've talked about dating younger, dating older. I mean, I don't know if the age. I think that age when you're younger, it worked for you in your marriage.
Well, I was
20
there
years
forever.
difference. Yes, I know. And we have a difference. And when you reach a certain level in life, the age doesn't really matter anymore because if you're both mature people, it kind of works together. The religion is a big factor because that has to work together. You got to have the chemistry, you got to have the communication, you have to have
Mutual background.
mutual backgrounds and things that make things work together. And this is
Right.
just what a relationship is. Otherwise, you've got nothing but sadness and disruption all the time and upset. So the thing is, and I have a tip of the week that we're going to close here that, and you can have one as well, is that you don't have to give up. You got to go out there and look around.
Never
You-
give up.
You search the corners
Never
that
give up.
you when they say when you least expect it, it happens, and it does. And someone told me that when you least expect it. So I walked
been
around all
waiting.
the time expecting it the least of the time. And when you expect it, it doesn't happen.
Well, I just go on, doing what I do and having a good time. And I think that if it's going to happen, I think it's going to happen. I'll just meet somebody that way.
And you also
hasn't
have to
happened.
remember that when you go out, like you go out on the trips, you get on a bus and a lot of
Yeah.
Right.
all the big groups are going to Vegas or wherever you go, and there's men out there. Don't ever forget to flirt and look good and
Exactly.
and show interest.
Well, I think you do. I would if there was somebody that I was attracted to, then I would.
No, you
flirt.
keep an eye open. You keep an eye
Yeah.
because there's going to be
Always.
somebody in that group eventually that you're going to connect with,
Sure.
and then they connect with you, and then you just take it from that point and go
Or
forward.
in a grocery store or in a gas station.
Exactly.
It comes off sounding so like I'm.
It's okay though, Eileen. It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, it's
It doesn't-
okay.
You don't lose it. Don't ever lose it
Oh,
because
no.
you're still
No.
looking, so never lose it. I mean, it's not again. It's not going to come in the FedEx package
No.
to your door. They're not
You
going
have to
do
sign
it.
for it. But that's
It just doesn't.
that's the tip. Just keep out there and be aware,
looking.
and don't expect the unexpected, but kind of know it'll just happen.
It's going to happen. And I have a friend, and she's a little bit older than me, and she went on JDate, and then she went on eHarmony, whatever she was. She's not Jewish, but she even tried JDate
Yeah.
because she really wanted the Jewish husband because she heard it's good. But she almost like interviewed them. She had lunch with one and dessert with the other, and a supper with the third one, and a dinner and a dessert. I mean, she clearly was looking for a husband. She was determined to find one. So she had her schedule set, and she got him, one after the other until she, narrowed it down. And she's married now for 4 years.
Oh, that's great.
And she found them on the internet and very happy.
That's great.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
We're going to close out the show now because we have other things to do. But we're back on next week on Tuff and Tender, and I think we're going to pick up the theme that we were going to do with jealousy.
Talking about jealousy.
Oh, that's
Talking
a good
about
one.
jealousy, because there's a lot of jealousy in this world, and it's like a bad penny. It pops
you
up
jealous?
everywhere. I'm not a jealous person, no.
Are you jealous?
Not at all.
Sometimes?
Not
I used
at
to
all.
get jealous.
A little jealousy is good.
Look at me. What have I got to be jealous about? I got everything I want.
That's true.
What
Right?
about others?
What?
Jealous about others?
No, I'm never jealous of others.
I used to get jealous.
Oh, I'm not
Of
jealous
what?
at
Not
all.
of others in my relationship. I would get
No,
jealous.
I'm not jealous.
Not a good thing.
Stay tuned next week at 1 o'clock for Tuff and Tender. Ina and I will be back. We've enjoyed having Eileen here. And we'll see you next week at 1 p.m. on EmpowerMe.tv. I'm Ric Drasin, Ina Tuler, and Eileen Wallet saying goodbye. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Have a good weekend and stay tuned.
I'm Ric Drasin, Tuff and Tender. I'm here to answer all your questions on dating, relationships, the good side, the tough side, the tender side. Every Friday, 1 p.m. on EmpowerMe.tv. I'd love for you to subscribe. I'll be here. We'll be discussing relationships and dating and all the good, the bad, the pitfalls, and the ugly of it. Stay tuned and watch me next Friday, 1 p.m. EmpowerMe.tv. Subscribe now.